my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm gonna share with you how I made a Seashores pen pal folder. So this is a paper pad I bought at Action a long time ago, and I found it in my stash and I really wanted to use it for this mail. But first I'm going to tell you what I do. So I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper and I score it at 5 inches, turn it around and I score it at 6 inches. Then I fold on the scoring lines and I cut off a piece of 2 inches because that looked good to me on the short side, so it can fold in like a folder, as you can see me here doing. And then I cut out a little triangle shape where across the score line, I can't really explain it, and I fold the triangle inside so both sides are the same. And this is really the base of my mail. It's a very simple mail to make, but it has a lot of effect and it has a lot of place to add some extra goodies. So that is the base of the mail. If you have any questions about that, please leave them down below in the comments. I would gladly answer all of your questions about mail making and all the other things that I do. So don't feel afraid to leave me any questions. I'm glad to answer them. Now I'm going to take another piece of pattern paper, because this is not double-sided paper. Can't remember the other word, but single-sided paper. So I have to back it up with another pattern to make it look pretty, and I chose these fishes. So the theme of today is more of a beachy seashores theme, and that's because the person who I'm sending this to, Anne-Marie, really loves the beach. So I received a letter from her, and in her letter she wrote about living near the beach and that the beach is a place for her to calm down and get like in peace with herself. So I thought that was the perfect theme to make for her. And that is why I chose this theme. So this is going to be a hodgepodge of different things that I have in my stash. Everything is based around this pattern paper. And then I will look through my stash to see if I find things that will match with this pattern paper. So most of the things that I'm using today are sent to me by pen pals or subscribers. And I keep those in baskets in a drawer, color coordinated. So I just go through them and I check what would fit the theme of my mail or what would fit the color scheme of my mail. And that is how I came to do this Seashores mail. So now I'm taking a piece of the pattern paper that was left over and I distressed the edges with my scissors. And now I'm going to take some Frayed Burlap Distress Oxide to give it a bit of a more beachy color, because I thought the white stark edges didn't really go well with the image that I'm using. Of course I'm going to use a doily, because who doesn't love doilies? I really loved that because it broke up the pattern a little bit and it gave a nice backing for the girl that I'm going to add to this front of the flip book. I'm going to stick her down with some foam tape so she's lifted up a little bit. It gives a little bit of dimension, and it's also very nice because it gives a natural shading, and it will help me later on with some of the layering around it, because I leave some gaps around it so I can stick some of the other pieces around, like you see me do here. So all these tiny pieces I received from pen pals or subscribers, and I don't know who sent me these, so if you recognize your own stuff, please let me know. I would love it. I know I got the girl from Lizzie, but I don't know who sent me these other seashells that are painted. So I would love to hear from you if you recognize your stuff in the comments down below. I decided to use these because I love the color scheme, and what perfect time to use it than a beachy themed flipbook. So I use the stuff people send me for decorating, but I also re-gift them to other people because it's not because I don't like it, but they fit the theme of my mail. And if you are a follower of mine for a longer time, you know that I like to coordinate my goodies with the theme or the color scheme. And if something is just perfect, but I don't have a place to add it on my mail, I will just send it out as a goodie to someone else, because it completes the mail. I don't know, for me it's the complete package with the goodies and the actual crafting. So please don't feel offended if I give your goodies to someone else. It just makes the process for me very fun to do, and I craft with it in that way. So now I'm going into the inside of the mail, and I knew I wanted to make 2 collages on the folded up flaps. And of course I'm grabbing some washi to ground them on, and I have these 2 washi tapes. I think one of them is from Action and the other one I bought at AliExpress a very long time ago. So these have been in my stash for a long time. And now I'm just going to glue down these embellishments. So I'm using this tacky glue from Action, and I actually really don't like this glue. I've heard a lot of people loving it, but I hate it. I really hate it. So I am going to use up what I have because it's good glue in a sense that it does stick, so I'm not going to throw it out. But I really don't like what it does to my paper. I don't like, because it's getting all crumbly and all, it's such a wet glue that I don't like to work with it. And it leaves marks when it comes out under the image, and I don't really like it. But like I said, I'm going to use it up because I don't like to throw away stuff, so I'm not going to throw it away. But I don't like this glue, so I think I have to go back to the all-purpose glue that I had. I bought some new glue a couple of months ago, and they didn't have the all-purpose glue. So that is why I bought this glue, also because I heard from other people that they loved it, but really I don't like it. So I think I need to go on glue hunting. So if you have any suggestions for glue, please leave them down below in the comments, and maybe I can find them on Craftelier or something. Now I'm going to use the Distress Oxide also on the inside because it looked a little bit too bland, and I thought it looked better with some edging. Of course, because I love to do borders, so of course I had to do somewhat of a border, right? And now I'm going to take this craft tag and I'm going to write Hello Anne-Marie. I love to add the other person's name on the mail because it makes it more personal, and they know that I made this with them in mind. So I wrote her name down, doodled some hearts, and I doodled a faux stitch border around the craft tag, and then I'm going to add some embroidery thread in a light blue color through the hole because I cannot add a tag without any thread. It looks weird if I don't add any twine or something. I don't know, it just looks unfinished. So I just add a little bit of blue embroidery thread to keep it in the theme. Now I'm going in for some bling. I also bought these at Action a very long time ago, and I'm going to add them in groups of 3. I like to do them in 3s. 3 is a very, I don't know, I like to look at 3s. It's very pleasing to my eye, and I like to do it in diagonals. So that is what I did on the front there. And now I'm going to make my own writing paper. So Anne-Marie wrote me a very fat letter, which I very much love. I always love to read fat letters. I make myself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and I sit downstairs and read the letters. I always love it. So I knew I wanted to write her a fat letter back as well. So that's why I chose to go for these A4 sheets, and I think 4 of them. And I'm just going to decorate them with some washi tape that is also beachy themed to keep it all cohesive. And the decorating on my writing paper is always very minimal because I want to use my writing paper to write on, and I know I write a lot, so I don't want to take away too much space and then adding another piece of paper, because all of this is of course paperweight, and I have to keep in mind that I will send it out internationally. So I fold this, and I use my bone folder to fold it really good because there are several pieces of paper and I don't want to have too much bulk in there. I also added 2 tags from Amy Tangerine that have a watercolor resist, and if you know Amy Tangerine, she has beautiful beachy themes with bright colors, so I thought these tags were perfect. I also added some Dutch stamps in a little bag because Anne-Marie wrote that she collects stamps, so I thought it would be fun if I shared some of my Dutch stamps, and I shared this template with her that says believe. And in this envelope that I also received from one of my subscribers in mail, I added some of the goodies that were laying on the side. So that is what I like to do. I take a paper pad or a theme, I go through my stash, and then I collect certain things. And what I don't use sticking on the mail, I usually send out as goodies because I already know that they will fit. Of course, I have to share the washi that I used with her, and I know that she loved it because she made a video about receiving the mail, which I very much enjoyed, and I will leave the link down below in the description box if you want to see her reaction to receiving my mail. It was amazing. I also added a ribbon to keep the mail closed, and now it is time to decorate my envelope. So I love to use the paper scraps that I have left over from mail, so the mail that is inside is cohesive with the envelope. I don't know, I really enjoy doing that. So I tend to use the scraps that I use, the same washi tape, and also try to make it a whole, because that's the fun part for me. And I will take this fish paper as a bottom strip, but I will cut it down before I stick it down, because I knew I wanted to add some of the Distress Oxide on the edges. So if you wonder what I used, I always have a list of supplies in the description box, and if I can find it online, there are links for you to use. Some of them are affiliate links, just so you know, but there's always a list of supplies down below in the description box. So now I'm figuring out what I want to do with this piece of pattern paper, and it had a scoring line because I cut this off the pen pal folder, and I just cut my paper in the middle of the scoring line and figured out where I wanted to place it. Then I dropped it and there was some glue there, so I decided to stick some washi tape on there, and I actually really liked that with the washi tape. So that was a happy little accident, but I really wanted to cover up the glue. And now I'm going in through my stash again, and I find the other piece of scrap that I have left over, and I'm cutting out these fish. And that's always something you can do if you don't have embellishments with a certain paper pack. Check out what you can fussy cut out of the paper pack. It will definitely coordinate with your project because it is from the same paper pad, and then you have your own handmade embellishments, and there are not a lot of work to do. So I stick down some of these fish to get a little bit of interest on there, and then I will finish off this mail. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and got inspired to make your own mail. So if you liked this video, I would love it if you would leave me a thumbs up. I would also love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye!